It's been a long time since I've done some of these videos, but I think it's a good time ever to do it again. Hello everyone, my name is Ten Star, and I'm here to talk to you, yes you, the audience, about the new Leciel Quest that just came out for us in the most recent update. The Leciel Quest, or better known as the Alpha Environmental Testing Zone Survey Quest, is a new style of quest which involves capturing each sector of the field of the location you are teleported into within the time limit to acquire ability buffs while helping your fellow guardians defeat enemy bosses in the deepest of areas. On the top left corner of your screen you'll see two major factors. The very top one is the sector map, and below it will be all the buffs that you can obtain just by doing each sector room, whether it's a puzzle, defeating bosses, or fighting crates to solve as a puzzle. During about half of the first encounter of the quest, there will be a random gigantic that shows up somewhere in the map. It's a very good idea to kill the gigantic because they can also grant you an ability buff to the already ability buffs you're trying to get with the combat sectors. They can help make or break your runs if you choose to take them on.
What also makes this quest a little difficult for the average player is that you're also going to be on a time limit for this zone and for the boss room after that zone. Basically, you want to prioritize getting as many buffs as you can while trying to capture as many sectors as you can. However, the enemy scaling along with a new type of enemies, the Abrians type of bosses and enemies, they're going to be very chunky and they hit very hard. Also, your life point gauge is shared with the entire pub team and your teammates. So once you get through 12 lives, that's just about it. No ifs, ands, or buts. Once the timer for the first half of the quest runs out, we'll be teleported into another room which will be facing the boss for the daily rotation. Yes, you heard me right. This quest can actually reset daily. Unfortunately though, it does not reset to the global side of resets. It actually resets to the JP side. For example, for the global side on my end, it usually resets around 11 AM. But the Leciel Quest Daily completely resets around 3 PM Eastern Time in my sector.
At the time of recording this, I've only encountered 3 bosses so far. The first one I faced was the Boojin. The second one was our favorite creepy crawly bug that the community loves. And the most recent one I faced was in Goku and his twin brother in crime. What's also important to notice is that at the very bottom of the ability buffs, there is a reward counter where if you can get your boss down to a certain threshold of health or beat it entirely, you can actually get more loot at the very end of your run, even if your rank is a little low to say the least. Now for my favorite part of the video, I want to talk about the loot economy that I love very much about this quest, as there's actually some very decent loot that you could get for the affix augments. If you're a newer player, you can actually get a hold of these powerful augments called the LC series. The TLDR for these augments is that they're basically weaker versions of their original counterparts, but they're way more accessible to get, with the trade-off is that they're slightly weaker than their OG counterparts. We also got a new Octo Armor 8-star unit, which is basically a decent side grade if you have the following armor listed below in comparisons to their stats, if you're willing to go through that route. Actually, I want to talk about the new 9-star weapons because this is actually a very nifty topic I want to talk about. The 9-star weapons actually can be dropped from the quest itself. However, getting it requires you to do one of 2 ways. First off, in order to get the weapon, you can get it through the item trader shop through the use of this currency. The currency is called growth mints. Yeah, I know, it sounds ridiculous, but hear me out when I say this. Outside of doing the quest and hoping to get a drop of Fixa, you can use 50 of the growth mints for a non-Fixa trade or 300 for a Fixa Terminal 1 version. Almost forgot to mention that you can get this currency while doing the Leciel Quest, and depending on your ranking and your performance, it can vary between 1 to 6 in every run. Basically, what I find is very intriguing is the weapon's potential. Basically, the weapon's potential is negative potency, but 100% critical hit rate. For any class that isn't a Slayer main or sub, they don't need to worry about crit bonuses anymore, and they can simply upgrade to the new weapon series if they want to, for the sake of consistency and damage. As of right now, for a Slayer main, if you guys want to try out the weapon and you don't want to worry about getting fixes for it, I suggest just waiting until you get like a Terminal 3 or higher weapon and just slap a gunblade on it. For all the other classes, I say this is a pretty good weapon to try out. If you guys like to have consistency damage runs, it's actually a pretty good time to give it a shot, unless you want to wait it out to see if you can get one to drop from the quest. All in all, I say this quest was a very good addition to this game. This is the first time I can say this, that feels like the old school days of Divine Quest for me back in base. Randomize, a little bit of challenge, enemy scaling while a little too high at times. I say it's just enough for 8 people to come in together and take out the bosses daily. What are your thoughts on the quest? Do you like this new approach? Do you like the loot economy as much as I do? I want to hear your thoughts and feelings down below. Feel free to share this video, and I highly appreciate everybody stopping by and giving this video a watch. This is 10 Start signing out. Later, ladies and gentlemen.